For over 10 years, I have been sharing my self-guided sewing journey here on YouTube, but because I have never gone to fashion school, I would keep thinking of myself as a beginner. You've seen me be a frequent traveler on the struggle bus. I continue to run into sewing techniques I've never tried before, but it's been over 10 years. At this point, my experience, it has to be worth something, right? I decided to assess my sewing skill level. I chose a beginner, intermediate, and advanced sewing pattern to see which one breaks me. I guess that's how we're doing this.
This is the hard one.
There's advanced after this. In my previous video, I completed the beginner and the intermediate, and you are here with me at the final boss. Looking at the numbers, the advanced doesn't seem to be a huge bump up from intermediate. Concerning for my believe in myself-itis. Just popping in here to highlight this estimated approximate sewing time. Beginner was roughly correct. Intermediate took longer than that, but advanced. Let's just keep this in mind. The things that are scaring me though are number of pockets. Front fly, I've never done one before. It's also crazy that they just went for the raw waistband. It's very Mariah Carey of them, but I can't believe this is in a sewing pattern. Do you know what I mean? Here we go. She's done. These are all the little bits of paper I cut off on the way. I tried doing something a little different this time around. I cut certain edges a little bit wavy so that I could maybe line up the lines a little easier. Not sure if that was critically helpful. Time to cut it out. 10 pieces of paper taped together for this one. Yeah, we're not going down this road again. I think I'm getting sick. I don't feel so good. I have a headache. I wasn't able to match the exact layout that was in the instructions. I think my fabric was just a touch narrower than theirs. So here you see me moving things around, trying to figure it out and get the most efficient fit possible to reduce fabric waste. This is the layout I was instructed to create, but I couldn't get this big piece to fit right here. So instead I just put down the biggest pieces first, and then everyone else kind of just squeezes in. I actually ended up getting a pretty efficient layout. There's all this leftover fabric right here. This ruler I use to help measure the grain line when it's far away from the fold. And now for another step involving cutting. How are we all doing? Are we ready to sew advanced today? I brought everything upstairs. The lining and the interfacing, particularly the interfacing, very tedious. Let's talk about one of the more interesting features. The legs have little darts on the side. I'm guessing it's going to lead to a more form-hugging fit at the knee. So I got that done. Can you see it? The darts shape the knee to have this little bump. So now I'm curious how it looks when I'm standing up straight. Kind of reminds me of those red carpet interviews where people mention how they look so form-fitted, but they actually can't sit down at all. And now I'm stitching together all of the pocket flaps. They have an interesting tip to stitch at an angle at the top. If this works out to hide the raw edges even better, I'm gonna try to keep that one in mind. I just opened the window because it's starting to get hot, and I'm pretty sure this little guy here has been building a nest right on our house. Oh, I think the nest is right by this lamp. Oh, there is a nest. Okay, they want me to clip the corners like so. Turn the flaps right side out, straighten the corners, hand base the flap. Oh, that's a lot of hand basting. Those of you that pay attention might notice that I actually haven't even touched pants in the last 4 years. I think with 2 times pregnancy, postpartum, I was just not interested in sewing anything with a fixed waistband because I felt like the changes were still unpredictable. So of course I had to come back and sew one of the hardest pairs of pants that I've ever made. I saw a few comments on the last video about all the hand basting before sewing, people noting that it really is part of a clean finish, but it's obviously tedious to actually do it. This, but 9 more times. For top stitch, I've been using this edge stitch foot, because then you just line up the fabric to this little edge and it's easy. Did I run out of I ran out of bobbin thread. Might as well clean up a little bit as well. Oh boy. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to admit it. Ooh, look at that one. But cleaning the machine, reloading the bobbin, it's all part of how long it takes to sew something. I find I have to hold the threads to get it to start clean. Remove the basting stitches. Okay. I think this is the last thing that I'll get done today before I go get the kids from daycare. It's another day and we are still working on these pockets. Last thing I get to do with these pockets is add a basting stitch to close off the top. But there's one little interesting step to get there. I've never done this kind of grading on a pocket, but they want me to take the flap, fold it up, pin that in place, and then by folding it you can see how these two sides of the pocket don't line up anymore, and this is where they want us to snip the excess. Now it's cleaned up. I think it makes it so that when the pocket flap is sewn on, there will be no extra bulk in the top flap, making it extra crisp. We already accommodated and trimmed away the bulk in the fold. Okay, and now I get to baste it. Finally! Doing something that is not just pockets. I had to tie up my hair because it was getting a little bit hot, but it has been much more bearable in the studio thanks to an update that Dan made to my one vent.
So the fan goes up to a 10, or you can turn it down to a 0. So that's reducing the fan.
Oh, 10.
I honestly think you just want to leave it on 10 and then screens off so that Oscar doesn't see this light all night.
Aw, thank you.
Not bad, right?
He slept so well.
13 hours, like
yeah.
12 hours.
Right here.
Hours, and he never does.
The old vent very weakly whispered pss, 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 cold air into this room, but he's trying out this new vent that has a fan. The flap has been sandwiched in between the pocket lining and the leg, and I'm doing an understitch so the lining stays hidden. Okay, actually I need to do a quick test. This is with the fan on max. I'm gonna go turn it back down. Really the main problem is the iron. It's a lot. Currently I'm undoing one of the stitches because this one, see how it got kind of bowed and stretched as it went through, and you can tell it's landing a little bit closer to the zipper edge than it did here. In the name of getting things real clean, I'm gonna fix it, and this is definitely not helping the sewing time. All right. They are way better matched now. I gotta take this top flap, sew it down along the top edge of the zipper. The pocket, she's ready for attaching. I top stitched this top flap, had to get out the walking foot for that. I wish the instructions were more visual to highlight what part of the garment I'm working on right now. This whole time I thought I was working on this pocket that's on the side, but I just realized I've been working on this pocket down at the bottom, which I didn't even realize was a pocket. Now that I see it now, I'm pinning it to the front leg and very likely never putting anything in these pockets. Everything is lining up though. The first pocket is on. I'm definitely not getting that gratifying feeling of progress being made at the moment. It feels like I'm going through so many steps, and then I look at it and I'm like, what's changed? Ooh. Woo! Oh shoot, that's long. But the knee darts hit right. Finally! Get to move on to the back leg. It needs to be attached to a back yoke. Back leg, back yoke. Don't hurt me. Can't see any eggs. Aww. Pressing, all I do. Vicky Sews will have you press it flat, press it open, then press it upwards. Usually, I'm sorry to admit, I would just do it all in one press. This is probably part of why I feel like my progress is so slow. Every press is 3 times longer than I thought. overlock. Press one more time. Okay. The yoke is on. She's top stitched. Looks really good. That brings us back to pockets. I have no concept of how far into this I am. It's like how in a survey, as you fill in the questions, it tells you the percent completion. I want that. I feel like I need it. For all 6 patch pockets, we're going from this shape to this shape after a lot of marking and pressing, as you can see, to this shape. This is after stitching the box corners, top stitch on the top edge. Cute little pleat here. Honestly, it's looking like a weird backless lunch bag. This is one pocket, and so of course repeat all the marking, pressing, sewing, grading, hiding of loose threads on all the other pockets. Yeah, I think the pockets is the reason why this is advanced. Whew. My body is breaking down. I'm hand tying all the top stitching threads. Trying to work quickly makes me think a lot about the fashion industry as a whole. I think about that one YouTube video that was making the rounds where that girl went to China to go kind of see what the Shein factories look like in real life. And she discovered that every single manufacturing shop along the road basically does one thing. This one place only does pockets. This one place only does zippers. This one place only does cuffs. And I get it. Switching gears does take a second. And if you can just lock in and sit in one spot, you will get things done quickly. I'm not saying that these are good working conditions for people. I just mean that from a productivity standpoint, I get it. At some point when I was ironing, I randomly thought of that scene from Pursuit of, oops, I'm not doing this right. Randomly thought of that scene from Pursuit of Happiness. Doesn't Will Smith's character like figure out something at the call center where if he doesn't put his phone down, he can work faster than his peers? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But I started to challenge myself to not let go of the iron so that I wouldn't waste a second putting it down and picking it back up. That was not an endorsement for the film Pursuit of Happiness. I really don't know culturally where it sits at this moment, but I'm sure there are at least a few valid criticisms. At this point, one of my main motivators is just telling myself I'm gonna be so happy when this is done. First to get attached, the back pockets. Definitely lost the plot at one point. I totally forgot we were even working towards the back legs. It's so cute. Here's how we're looking pinned. I did it. Look at that. Just look at it. Wooden pocket. Oh, it's quite spacious. 2 pockets. I showed the video of the nest to Dan and he complained that I didn't actually look all the way in to the nest, so we're gonna try again. Alright, well that was scary. Last night we were watching Mary Poppins with Marla and there's that scene where she like opens the window and sings with the robin bird outside and I was like, oh, that's me. Oh my god. I didn't expect there to be so many. I thought I'd see like nothing or 1 egg. Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. That was magical. Am I Mary Poppins though? No. Well, I could try snapping my fingers to sew the pocket flaps. Oh my, and would you look at that? Practically perfect in every way. The flap is on. They look good. Woo! I messaged Dan about the robin birds and he correctly guessed the number of eggs, so it's just me and my managed expectations. Front, back, legs. It's a new day, but I'm wearing the same clothes. Finish the side seams. It's actually crazy to me that every time you see this kind of stitch, the number of times it passed through different machines and irons to get here. There's a bit of lumpiness here at the bottom and top of the pocket. I don't know. I'm hoping it'll sort itself out. I've been finishing off the corners of the pockets by hand tying off the strings in the corner. Nice and boxy corner. So now I can do the last stitch to close off the pocket, a top stitch from here to about 4 centimeters down. This is what it looks like when it's done. Down here, sharp little pleat. Okay, attaching the biggest top flaps out of all of the pockets. It looks like a mailbox. top flap is on. The flap really makes a difference, really sells the pocket. And guess what? Ta-da! I finished these two as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to wear this through airport security at least one time to enjoy all of these pockets. Never sewing a pocket again! That's it. If the next step does not involve one of these, I swear. Okay. Tab loops. I have some pressing to do. The wrong side has been completely pressed away. They want me to hand baste before I top stitch, and I feel like the desire to cut corners is really strengthening. Maybe this is a good opportunity to hand baste one, not hand baste the other. See if there's any difference. Gonna remove this basting. Okay, actually, I no longer know which is which. Okay, what do we think? Can we skip the basting? I think so. Shh. They're like little French fries. Okay, the loops are top stitched. Pretty proud of my work. The belt loops are ready. Gotta pin the loops to the pants. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Pretty clean, pretty happy with it. Finally, at the part where I seal together the inner leg. It's quite nerve-wracking to be this far in and still have no idea if this fits me. It's a bit long. The pockets look so good. Here's the crotch seam closed up, bringing us closer to my first time sewing a zipper fly. Ooh. The bottom hem is done. From all the folding, they are now 5 centimeters shorter than before. I am getting a bit worried though. I think it's gonna be big. Can't know for certain until I finish the fly, finish the top edge to reduce a little bit of this stretch. I'm gonna cross off a big day with you guys. My first ever zipper fly. Been waiting to see how I'm gonna use this fly shield. I believe it's gonna be the piece of fabric closest to my body. Folding it in half, sewing it right sides together, just at the bottom. Flip it right side out and press. Overlocked the long raw edge, and it told me to tuck away the loose thread so that this is a really clean finished piece. It's getting real. I feel like this part really tests my reading comprehension skills because everything up until this point, I'm reading what it's saying to do. I also do inherently have an idea of what to do, and so I don't need it spelled out very clear and obvious. But in this part, I'm genuinely relying on the instructions to guide me, and hopefully in a way that is clear and understandable. Here's how that's looking. Always good to stop and check that your zipper is still in business. Does it still lock? Oh yeah. I think the next step is to get it to land correctly on the right side. I also gotta trace that French J-shaped stitch that's always on pants. I did it. I really did it. Oh, wait. I accidentally sewed the fly shield into this. Sorry, be right back.
The guys are actually, they need to do something with the water. I'll text you when it's good to go, okay?
Okay, thank you. Okay. Round 2. Top stitch 2 times. Zipper works. I'm gonna need to take in some fabric. Oh no. Well, that's a problem. Okay, it's supposed to be low ride, so if I have it down here, I need to lose maybe like 2 to 3 centimeters. Whew, all right. I pinched away as much fabric as I could in this back middle seam. It is low rise in the front. Oh boy. Also, this is me standing on my tippity toes. These pants are way too long. Here I am flat. Tiptoe. I think that's the best I can do. I squeezed in one more pass on the sewing machine, so here's where we were initially. Here's an adjustment I made at one point to get the fly to sit better. Here's the one that I just showed you, and then here is one more extra Pass. This is all the fabric I didn't need. These two edges were overlocked as per the instructions, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the excess, re-overlock the new spot. Because we want it to look nice. We deserve the best. We want it to feel expensive. Really, it just means more work for me. Here's the 2 rows of top stitches to attach the upper waistband piece. This little strip is a necessary amount of fabric weight. The way this is fitted, the waistband is the only thing holding these pants up. To me, it's actually wild that this design went with the raw waistband, and I feel a bit robbed, as if I still haven't technically completed the full difficulty of a front fly with a waistband. Let me know in the comments what you think about that design choice. I'm scrolling ahead and it's just attaching snaps and these ties and these decorative tabs that are going to go at the bottom. It fits. That kind of boosted my confidence. Here we go. This was beginner, this was intermediate, and this is advanced. The difficulty rating reflects more pieces, more sewing techniques, more seams, more finicky fabric. These were definitely in order of difficulty. Now for some critiques. The first 2 fit me perfectly out of the box, so I was getting really excited, but I should have known when I saw the model wearing platform sandals and the pants were still hitting the floor that this was going to be way too long for me. Here, look, this is me on my tiptoes. Gonna figure that out before I wear these in public. You guys also saw I took away a lot of fabric to get the waist to fit how I wanted, and it was essential because there's no belt loops, there's no elastic. Everything depends on this being the correct size. Might be another side criticism. The style of these pants are just like a little funky, but they do look so good. Based on this first ever attempt at assessing my sewing skill, am I an advanced sewist now? We may have to try again with some other sewing pattern companies. Let me know in the comments if any come to mind. As usual, here are some shots of the finished looks. It's the baby. Just came out of the house and this guy was right outside the door. Hey, little baby. Look, it doesn't know how to fly yet. I shouldn't stand here. This is right underneath where they poo. You can do it. You can do it. Oh my God. Good job.